to bout number 2 of the evening. This fight is brought to you by SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump. 3 by 2-minute rounds kickboxing rules in the light heavyweight division. Your referee in charge of this contest, Mr. Chris Anderson. Firstly, fighting out of the blue corner, trained by Simon Pitch at a Red Star Training Centre, wearing black tie shorts with red, and an official weight of 82 kilograms. Hailing from South Australia, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Wyatt. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, trained by Andy Colgrave at the Resilience Training Centre, wearing blue tie shorts with silver and black, with an official weight of 81.1 kilograms, representing Hoppers Crossing, Francis Kombukon.
Well, this is going to be very interesting.
Taking on from South Australia, trained by Simon Pitch out of the Red Star Gym, Chris Wyatt.
Round number 1.
And Chris Wyatt is one of the favourites. Melbourne love to have him here. They always fly him down for his fights.
You know, these boys at what, about 82 kilos? So what are we at, cruiserweight or light heavy?
Oops, oops. A bit of a groin kick there. I didn't actually see that. I don't know whether... It didn't seem to rattle Francis that much. I'll tell you what, from what I've seen in the past, Chris Wyatt can throw some bombs, so...
Yeah, he's a big boy as well, he's a big unit, so Francis is going to have his work cut out for him. Obviously, experience going the way of Chris Wyatt. He's had a couple of fights under his belt.
Nice jab around there by Chris Wyatt.
So this bout proudly brought to you by SHP Rendering and the sponsors also of our beautiful Ring Girls Muscle Pump Supplements.
Chris Wyatt seems to be working that front leg. I think if he gets a few more of those in, France is going to be in a little bit of trouble if he doesn't check those kicks. Again there with an inside kick by Chris Wyatt.
A couple of straight right hands from Francis, pushing forward, but he's just got to keep a nice defensive guard because the taller Chris Wyatt will just come straight over the top.
Francis Kombukon keeping those hands a little bit too low, I think, for my liking.
Yeah. Oh, there it is, Joanne. Big right hook. Although Chris Anderson having a word, punched the back of the head, but...
Not sure what that was about, but anyway.
Yeah, it just seemed like a nice hook to me. But Francis trained out of the Resilience Gym with Andy Colgrave and Brett the Beast Franklin in his corner, so he's got a lot of experience and advice there as well.
Another nice kick by Chris. Those chopping that leg by Chris just keeps happening. I think all Chris needs to throw them. I mean, by the looks of things at the moment, France is open for that right hook. Chris just throws a left jab, right hook. It could be a good night for Francis.
Yeah, so he survived the first round, so that'll get a lot of the nerves out of his system.
Number 1, Chris Wyatt out of South Australia. Francis Kombukon, local boy, Hoppers Crossing. Your commentary team here this evening, the one and only Joanne Falzon, Johnny Cavasinni. This fight is brought to you by SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump Supplements. Seconds out. Round number 2.
Second round of 3. Once again, big thanks to SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump Supplements. Have a look at the opening here, Joanne, from Chris Wyatt fighting out of the blue corner in the red and black shorts, and Francis Kombukon in the blue.
But I'll tell you what, Francis Kombukon in the from the red corner is doing fantastic for someone who hasn't been training that long.
1 month's training.
Showing a lot of heart.
Yeah, absolutely, and nice round kick from Francis. That's better work. Andy Colgrave saying to me backstage, Joanne, that Francis walked into the gym. He's been training for a month. Just the passion already and the fire. He said, get me in the ring. I want to have a go.
I love it. I'd love to see him in a few more months' time with a bit more experience behind him. I think he's going to be one to watch out for.
He's just a little bit scrappy in his technique, but he's got the idea there. He's just got to keep those hands up.
A few
That's
nice,
what he was vulnerable for.
Yes, a few nice left-rights there by Chris Wyatt.
Chris now trying to do a job on the lower legs of Francis.
That leg's got to be hurting Francis by now.
Body rip from Chris.
I think Chris Wyatt must be thinking, what the hell do I have to do to keep this guy down? But I think if he keeps chopping that leg, he might just do it, John.
Yeah, so that left fire really taking some punishment. That time there, it looked like Francis just stopped in his tracks. He's going to have to start checking the kicks, Joanne, because
Definitely.
I don't know how much more punishment that lead leg can take. Now, obviously, a more experienced fighter would be perhaps switching to southpaw to protect the leg.
Yes, definitely, John, or even he could be checking that leg, but he doesn't seem to be doing that.
And he's keeping his hands pretty low as well. He survived 2 rounds.
He sure did.
Fighter from New Guinea originally.
They always bred him tough in New Guinea, don't they?
Yeah. Memories of the headhunter.
Second bout at Rumble in the Jungle 31. This fight is brought to you by SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultimate Promotions brings you No Turning Back, the West End Market Hotel, March 27th, located in Sunshine North. Returning to centre ring, Harkin Tekken. Harmon Lush, Sandy Marcus and Kyle Webb, a massive card. For tickets, call 0411 665565. No Turning Back, Friday, March 27th. Seconds out.
That's the first.
Both fighters touch gloves. This is the third and final round.
On round number 3. Francis Kombukon in the blue with a very, very exciting opening here. Chris Wyatt in the red and black.
How much more punishment can that leg take by Francis? John, that's what I would like to know.
Yeah, well, they gave that left thigh good icing in between rounds, but Chris Wyatt, he'll just resume where he left off in that second round. And there they go, the low kicks once again as he tries to back Francis over into that neutral corner.
Oh
no. I'm feeling the pain every time the right leg of Chris Wyatt connects with Francis.
We can hear that whack from here, can't we, John?
Huge uppercut from Chris, just missing the mark. A bit of a baptism of fire this for Francis. Welcome to the world of kickboxing.
And here we go, we've got the last minute to go. And that leg is still holding out. Yep. Nice straight right there by Chris Wyatt.
Once again, SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump Supplements. We're pretty proud with the display from these two fighters, Joanne, particularly the heart shown from Francis.
Both boys showing some tremendous heart there. Bit of a knee there by Francis. I don't think they're allowed to throw knees in this, are they?
I don't think this is kickboxing rules.
Chris Anderson seemed to let that one slide, but anyway.
Yeah, all credit to Francis for letting it go, trying it on. Gee, Chris must be thinking, what do I have to do to chop this guy down?
Not much in it left now. Another nice left hook there by Chris Wyatt. Oh, that leg. I don't think Francis is going to be walking tomorrow, something tells me.
Yeah, there's not a lot of gas left in the tank from
Oh!
Francis.
Straight right there. Oh. That's a count.
Yeah, good work by Chris Anderson. That one landed flush on the chin. You just want to protect the fighter. We do want Francis to come back again, not to be absolutely knocked out cold, to think, you know, that's enough.
No one wants to see that, do they, John?
Absolutely. And there you go. Well, we're pretty happy Chris Wyatt at the end of the day, but
Chris Wyatt,
Francis all heart. 1
All
month's
heart.
training and he's lasted 3 rounds
Tell you
in
what.
his first bout.
Not many people could stay for that one, John.
After wearing so many leg kicks, taking a lot of punishment on that lead leg.
That fight probably slightly going into the way of Chris Wyatt, John, but we've always got to leave it in the hands of the judges.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, from our point of view, it's pretty unanimous the way of the blue corner, but we await the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we've gone to the judges' scorecards. We have a unanimous points decision. Your winner, blue corner, Chris Wyatt.
No upsets there, unanimous victory going the way of Chris Wyatt. Big thanks to SHP Rendering and Muscle Pump Supplements, but all heart, Francis Kombukon.
All heart, but I'll tell you what, that'll be one happy blue corner.